Hey, reading wrap up time. We here to talk, we here to chat. So this month, 26 books. No, I'm lying. 23 books. Talk about it. So I'm not gonna go into too much detail. I feel like every single 6 months off with Love Theoretically. I love this book. I rated it 4.75. I really enjoyed Jack. He just made the whole book for me. It's a He Falls First, enemies to lovers, probably like one of my top favorite trope. I don't know, it's just something about it. So Elsie is a theoretical physicist and Jack is a experimentalist physicist. Elsie is a part-time fake dater and she ends up dating Jack's younger brother. Elsie thinks Jack doesn't like her the whole time because Jack was like obsessed with her and she was dating his brother. He is like really attentive, really caring, and he's just that guy. And Elsie, it's a lot of self-development and growth within her character. The boy is more obsessed with the girl. It just makes the big book better, okay? I don't make the rules. Okay, so the next one was Sweet Liar. It was like a really short read, a little under 200 pages. Following Dylan, a 13 to 15 year age gap. Dylan is a single parent and he also lives in the UK. Audrey's in town to visit her older sister. Dylan is Audrey's older sister boss and they end up going out to dinner as like a whole group. Basically she's trying to convince him to hook up with her because like he's like kind of against because of like the age difference, and she's like young and she wants to hook up with him because she's like, well, the boys my age aren't really doing what they're supposed to be doing. Basically that's that. So the next one was Tyler. And this one is an MC book. I got really into MC books this month. Tyler ended up faking his death and then he's back. He's living next door to the president of the MC sister. And the president of the MC is also his best friend. Extremely independent, she likes her routine. Once a rival MC comes into town and is targeting Monica, Tyler has to be her bodyguard. I rated that one 4 stars. Okay. Till Tomorrow Comes, The Dark Mafia. I did 3 stars. It was certain parts where I'm just like, this is really a little bit too dark for me. And personally, I do not approve. He's a mafia boss. He's in his 30s, right? And he saw her while she was 17 and he was like, okay, that's the one for me. So he basically stalks Issa for a year and a half until she's like 18. She thinks she's like on a free expense trip from like a sweepstake that her and her friends won, and then he basically convinces her to spend her whole trip there. He tries to get her to fall in love with him, and when she tries to leave him, he kidnaps her. A lot of things are questionable in this book. A lot of times I read books, my morals do get compromised. I still listened to the whole thing, then bought the second one. Anyway, I don't know, because I listened to the whole thing and I bought the second one. So I couldn't have been that compromised if maybe it was so bad for me that it was good. Then I read Vow of Deception. It's the first book in the Deception trilogy. I've seen her books all over TikTok. I have her other books in my TBR, but this is the first one that I've read and I did enjoy the whole trilogy. And this one is also a dark mafia romance, and these books are really questionable. Some of the things they be doing, I'm like, wow. Once you read the first one, you have to read the rest of the trilogy because like it leaves you on a cliffhanger and you're confused throughout basically the whole book. I rated the whole trilogy 4 stars. The Brafa, really smart, so he's like the mind of like all the operations or whatever, and the lengths this man will go for this girl or not, because this is how I'm getting confused, because in the 3rd book you're seeing how they met and how everything happened. First book you're starting like in the middle of their story. Basically in the 1st book, Adrian sees Winter, and basically Winter's like his dead's wife doppelganger. It's really hard to explain. She really did her thing on this trilogy because I was just dishing out my money like that. So okay, so then I read Collateral and Damage. So I read both of these. I rated them both 3.5. So Stefan waited 2 years to get revenge on Gabriella's father, and she's rebellious. Like she tried to run away, she got caught, she's forced to get married. Then I've read Happy Place. I wanted to do a reading vlog while I read this one, but then I got lost in the book and I just, yeah. Rate this one 5 stars. This one's following Harriet and Wynn. It's a second chance romance, fake dating, found family. So basically everything that I just love, you know? Harriet and Wynn broke up months ago and they end up being stuck in a trip with their friends. So they decided to like fake date throughout the whole week because they did not tell anybody that they broke up, and they want to make the week perfect for all their friends the last week that they're going to be at the lake house before it gets sold. Love every single one of her books I've read. What made the book for me was the friendship and the connections that their friends had and how they always looked out for each other and how like their friends are truly like their home. Like I will not hear any criticism on this book. Okay, so then we jump into a YA book. The rest of the story, I read this book and then I read like 5 other her books because of this book. I love the storyline. This one also is kind of like found family, friends to lovers type vibe, and coming of age and finding yourself. So Emma Saylor, dad recently just got married. Her dad recently just got married and he's going on his honeymoon trip. Emma Saylor was supposed to stay at one of her friend's house, but something came up and she couldn't stay at her friend's house. Also, Emma Saylor's mom passed away from overdose, and she was raised her dad. She didn't really have any contact with people on her mom's side. Her mom's side of the family lived at the lake, and then her dad and her mom met at the lake. He was at like the rich part of the lake town, and her mom was in the like the middle class of the lake town. So it was like split up, it's divided. She goes to stay with her grandmother on her mom's side. A few weeks that her dad's on the honeymoon, and she's meeting all her cousins. She's meeting her childhood best friend. I enjoyed it. I rated it 4 stars. The next one is also a YA. It's Borrow My Heart. I did enjoy this one. This one is also another like fake dating, but it's like with a twist. So this one is following Asher and Ren, and Ren is at a coffee shop where her best friend works, and she's overhearing Asher's best friend basically tease him about getting stand up because he's supposed to be getting catfished and they're supposed to be meeting the girl. So she overhears the whole conversation and she's like, okay, I'm gonna step in and I'm gonna be the girl he's been talking to online. Sometimes she's pretending to be this girl, and then they end up being into each other, so she just continues to pretend to be this girl. So this book's also based in the summer. I enjoyed it. I rated it 4 stars. Angelica Frankenstein makes her match. I rated this one 3.5. I did enjoy it. I wasn't in love with it. So she makes her own match. He wakes up and he's trying to like figure out like his old life. He doesn't remember his old life, but he has this feeling that like this isn't where he's supposed to be. So they're on this quest to figure out his old life, and the whole time by like falling in love with each other. The next book I read is part of the Down and Dirty series. It's Down and Dirty Zach. It's on Zach and Sophie. It's the first book in the series, and he just got out of jail. He was set up and he was sent to jail for 10 years, and he just got out. He was the president of the MC. He was really young. Sophie owns a bakery, Shadow Valley, which is the town that the MC basically like either owns or like is in control of. She makes Zach's cake, his like release day cake for his party, because they're throwing him a party because he just got out, and he mistakes her a stripper. They hook up the night that he mistakes her to be a stripper, and then like he just keeps coming back. It's a really short book. So man, and you like, man, it's just gonna like take charge. I recommend it. It was good. Okay, I rated it 4 stars. The next one is Down and Dirty Jag. There's like dislike lovers. They hooked. It was following Ivy and Jag, and like they grew up together. She grew up in the MC, so she knows all about the MC life. Jag also grew up in the MC. He's been in love with her like for forever, and she keeps turning him down because she doesn't want to like be anybody's property. She could date anyone in the MC, stuff like that. They keep going back and forth. She keeps pushing, he keeps pushing back. It was just like a whole bunch of pushing. Okay, the next one was Hawk, Down and Dirty Hawk. Hawk and Kiki. Towards the end, ooh, read the trigger horns. Kiki is Hawk's attorney. Hawk gets put in jail because of what happened in the second book, and then they start flirting and they hook up. Like all these books are pretty fast-paced. Like they end up either hooking up in like the first or second chapter. 4.25. Then Hawk's brother is also in the MC, so he's the enforcer in the MC. Doesn't want to be tied down. He does not want to have a family. He doesn't want an old lady. Jewel grew up in the MC. She's always like wanted to be an old lady. She set her eye on Diesel. Diesel keeps finding the connection. They end up hooking up. I rated this one like 3 stars. He kept setting up rules for Jewel, and she would just like follow it, and I'm just like, girl, I have a little bit of a backbone. I get it. Like he's an enforcer. He's worried about her safety. Like he has a lot of enemies, but I'm just like, you want that man to talk to you like that? That's why like some of these, it's a real question, because y'all don't let these men talk to you like that. It's OYA, along for the ride. So she was following Arden. Her mom is an author and a professor. Her dad recently just got married and just had a newborn. I do not like her dad. She ends up staying with her stepmom Heidi and her dad. I really like Heidi. She was a sweetheart. So at the beginning of the book, she never really had friendships and stuff like that because she was so focused on school. So during the summer, she ends up becoming friends with like these group of girls, and she also ends up being friends with this dude named Eli. He also has insomnia, and so they basically start hanging out a lot at night. Yeah, it's like a coming of age found family. Okay, so the next book I read was Just Listen. This one is following Annabelle and Owen. So Annabelle is a model. She's the youngest of 3 sisters. Sisters are models as well. So in the book, you're seeing how Annabelle is dealing with this semester because her best friend basically cut her off, and Owen is the new kid at school. He's really obsessed with like music. He's a cutie. He made her 10 CDs, and I was just like, and they're always talking about music and songs, and he helps her like find her voice. Was One Last Stop. This one is following Jane and August. I rate this one 4.5 stars. I did enjoy this one. The side characters ate down in this book. So August just moved to New York. She's riding the train back and forth, and every time she gets on a train she sees this girl named Jane, and Jane is like stuck in like this time loop type thing where she's stuck on the train and she thinks it's like 1970. August is working to get her unstuck on the train. It's a found family trope as well. I will say friends to lovers, and all the side characters are just amazing and funny and just loving, and they all have like their personalities, so I really enjoy it. Okay, so the next one is Call It What You Want. I read this one, Robbie and Megan. I love this book. Robbie's dad tried to himself. He failed. So now he's like disabled. Rob and his mom are having to take care of him. Tried to do what he tried to do because he got caught from embezzlement, and like he basically like embezzled like the whole town. Robbie's family's getting sued, like a pariah at school because no one likes him anymore because everyone thinks that he knew what was going on. They're seniors in high school, so Robbie's having a rough time of it. He's trying to stay in the shadows. Oh, he also reads fantasy, which I thought was really cute. Megan cheated on her ACT and got caught, and everyone else that's in the room had to get their test thrown out, so she's also going through it as well. Her sister also came back from college because she's pregnant. Read the trigger word. Megan and Robbie end up getting partnered on a calculus project, so they end up hanging out a lot together. They don't tell anybody else about like what's going on in their real problems, and they start opening up to each other, which I think is really cute. Then I listened to this lullaby. This one's following Remy and Dexter. So Dexter is like this quirky, clumsy, tall, lanky dude, and he's also in a band. And Remy, I don't know, I really like Remy. She basically had to like take care of her mom. Her mom got married and divorced like 5 times, and Remy is just like this super like organized planner type person. She needs organization. She needs everything organized. I guess since she couldn't control what her mom was doing, she had to find control in other places. Friends are always showing up. It's the summer. She just graduated, so she has all these rules about dating and guys and what to do and what not to do. She dates a lot, breaking up boys where she's too attached, where she never lets herself get attached at all. She doesn't take any shit. She doesn't believe in love. She doesn't believe that like love. She's independent, outspoken, and responsible. Just that girl. Okay, so the last book I read this month. This is a long little video. I have not shut up yet. The Match. It's the first book in the What Happened in Charleston series. It's by Sarah Adams. I like this one. It has a disability trope in it. So it's following Jake and Evie. This one is really cute. I rated it about 4.25. So she has epilepsy and she works for Southern Servants Paws, and the company helps people with disability get service dogs for like, and she has a disability and she has a service dog, Charlie. And Jake, single parent, and his daughter just got diagnosed with epilepsy. The single dad trope always hits for me. So Evie started helping Jack with getting a service dog for his daughter. It's a really cute book, okay? Because like all the characters, the dogs, it was just, I enjoyed it. That's the last book that I read this month. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, keep touching my hair, I'm sorry. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.